Well, thank you. I'm glad Adrian thinks it's amazing already. So I gave my presentation, and I have notes. I'm probably not going to use them, but if I hold them, it makes me feel better. I gave my presentation about 13 months ago, and the group has changed a lot. I talked a lot about my journey and how I got to where I was. We were about 40 members then. We've kind of gained and lost some at the time. And so I'm going to try and stick to some of the things that got me here, but then go into more some of the business type stuff. So where I'm from a town outside Philadelphia, Doylestown, and I am a cheesesteak snob. And it's my family, it's my parents right here. Raise your hand, say hi. Celebrated their 48th wedding anniversary about 2 months ago. And one brother, 7 years younger, got to pick on him a lot. So I moved to Arizona in the summer of '96 because we had a 38-inch snowstorm and we were out of there. These are my kids. This was the product of the family that I started. My oldest, that's kind of the same picture, obviously you can see that. But my son Austin, he turns 20 this October. To your left is my daughter Darby. She starts GCU next week, she's 18. And my daughter Delaney, she is 17 today. Some of my interests, I like watching movies. Big Hitchcock fan. I did take Tina to see North by Northwest in the theater, and I swear she was on the edge of her seat the whole time. Love cartoons, love Looney Tunes. Also like going out and listening to music. The smaller the venue, the better. Very local music is what I kind of like. Baseball is a big passion of mine. I haven't played in years, but I like going to baseball games. I've been to 11 All-Star games. 2 World Series. I was at Game 7. Best thing I ever saw. I like to travel. Do kind of corny things when I travel, like hold the London Eye, have a beer at Jim Morrison's grave, and steal stuff out of the Louvre. As Steve mentioned, I like to road trip. I did take a road trip. I drove up to PCH. I was gone for about 9 days in a Jeep. Just fantastic. It's just nice to just get away, put some music on. That day it was 127 degrees in Death Valley. So I can tell you some funny stories about how things melted in the Jeep. Right now, I have a wonderful person in my life. I would say not my better half, more like my better 3/4. This is Tina. Some of you met her. Hopefully maybe she'll be at happy hour tomorrow. We'll get to meet her a little more and get to know her. Cool person. Very cool. Say hi. You say hi? Okay. Together we have 4 pets. This big guy here on the left, that's Chip. He's 2.5, pit bull. Sweetest dog in the world. I have learned that pit bulls are not what society thinks they are. Does rally classes, actually going on his first go-away competition this weekend. Top right is Shamrocks. She's about 8. She's an 8-pound Yorkie, so the two of them are kind of on opposite chains. She has taken barking to an art form. And the newest addition down on the bottom right is Bandita. We got her to kind of play with the big guy, but she has actually played with all of them and brought them both together, so we think we should have called her the bridge, because she's kind of bridged the gap between the two of them. And then the queen of them all is Jade the cat. She just does whatever she wants. In the past, out of college, I was a stockbroker, so I learned from it, not really my best days. I was in retail management for 10 years, and all these things that I've done in my life have contributed to how I've run my business and things I've learned and taken the good stuff and passed on the bad stuff. I was a stay-at-home dad for 2 years for my 3 kids. It was an interesting experience. But while I was doing that, I was doing my post-bac because I became a teacher. I taught 4th grade. And I taught 6th grade, and there's a few people in here. I've met you before because I taught your kids. There's a few of you in here. There's one over there, there's one back there, a couple visitors we've had. So currently that brings me to where I'm at now. So ecologic management, pest control is what I do now. And some of the types of services that I offer is I work at commercial and residential places. I do a monthly service, which is more of a preventive maintenance. And we also do one-time services, which could be, usually it's more reactive. So we're looking at bees, scorpions, or somebody's wife saw a cockroach and he wants me at his house yesterday. Happy wife, happy life type of thing. So. Some of the things that we cover, and this is, I mean, you can put 1,000 things up on here, but ants is a big one. That's one of the, usually the bigger complaints that people have. Beetles, scorpions, with the monsoons right now, this is scorpion season. It is just huge right now. Spiders, bees, hornets, wasps, they are more in the spring, but year round as well. Pigeons are more of a nuisance. People want to get rid of them. Well, I'll show you some things in a little bit. Roof rats, also year-round, very common problem in Arizona. Termites, like I said, Michael, who introduced himself, he does the termites. So if you ever call me for termites, I will refer you over to him. So now you have a face with a name. And then other creepy crawlers. Some examples. So one of the things about my business is there's no finished product. There's nothing to show people. In fact, the absence of things is usually what makes me successful. But there are some things that we do that have a more finished product. And this is a roof actually right up the street, and the lady had pigeons. And the pigeons eat, and then they do other stuff, and would roll down on our porch. So I put some spikes on top of her roof, and no more pigeons. I also do it for commercial buildings. This was a commercial building that had a balcony down here, and same thing, the pigeons were sitting up there and the people would be on the balcony and things would fall on them. They don't anymore. Sometimes pigeons can nest some places, usually where roofs come together and can put mesh up and kind of block those things off, pigeon exclusions. This is an air conditioner on a house up by PV High School. So obviously that was what it looked like before, and that's what it looked like after. No more pigeon nests. This is something new that I've kind of dabbled into, and I saw a need for it. On the left here, this is the grass and clippings and leaves and feathers that I took out from under 2 tiles on a roof. Those are size 13 feet next to it. I did that for perspective. That's how much came out of under each tile. So here's the tile you see on the end of the roof, and I kind of created this little cage, and it's spring-loaded, so it just slides right into it. And there's no caulking, there's no nailing, so you're not doing anything to the roof as far as affecting its, putting holes in it, anything like that. So it just slides right in. Boom, no more birds hiding in there. And then Tina helped me put this presentation together. She said, "Don't show pictures of bugs." I'm like, I don't know what else can I show? So this actually is a glue box that came out of somebody's garage. I just wanted to kind of show you got a lizard and scorpion on there. And I posted this on Facebook, and my joke was, a lizard, a cricket, and a scorpion walk into a glue box.
All right, it was worth it for the joke.
Exactly, thank you. And then if you haven't seen what termite trails look like, this was a house actually I found after the meeting last week. And they look like little kind of mud trail, like kind of chewed up mud trails. Gave Michael a call. He was able to take care of her right away. I think within a couple days you got out there and took care of her. But that's what they look like if you ever see them, if you haven't already. Why me? So there's how many pest control people out there and companies? They're all over, they're everywhere. Okay. But what makes me different is I personally, and I put a card out for everybody. If you notice on the card, it says owner operator. That's my cell phone. I personally answer texts, calls. If you refer somebody or you call me, that you get me. You don't get an office. You don't get a secretary. I don't hand you off to anybody else. You get me. Okay. And also, when somebody comes out to do the work, unless it's termites, I'll be the one coming out knocking on the door. So you can assure somebody that you know who's coming into their home. You know me. I'll be coming into your home. That way, you just don't know. Sometimes you don't know who's going to show up. Somebody comes out, bids a job, and then somebody else shows up. Oh, got to get moving here. Environmentally friendly products, I can talk about that later. I'm running out of time. Competitive pricing. I don't have an office. I work out of my truck. I can pass that savings on, go valley-wide. I'm moving real quick here. Great referrals. Property managers, business owners, homeowners. One thing I want to take just a second to kind of do an activity with you. If you have used me personally in your personal home or business, I'm not calling anybody out for what it is, but go ahead and raise your hand. If you have asked me a question about something at your personal, keep your hands up, of your personal home or business, raise your hand. Out of the 60 people in our group, 34 of them that I counted have actually used me or talked to me about my business. That's over plus 8 past members of this group. So what that's saying is over half of you can use my business. This is how easy it is to refer me. If you walk out your front door and look to your left and to your right, chances are one of them is going to need my services. Have them give me a call. And I'm Ken Brown with Ecologic. What's bugging you? I'm out.